I am Sud, CEO at Impress AI. In this video series, I'll be answering questions on making hiring more accurate. The question for today is how to design the selection process for a graduate program. Let's talk through the 6 must-follow steps when shortlisting candidates for a graduate program. First up, brand your program. You need to establish your grad program as a great one. No matter how reputable your grad program is, you're competing with other companies for top talent. Talk about your industry and career prospects in it. Talk about growth paths in the company. Make sure to highlight the culture so that candidates know what to expect. Letting candidates know upfront what it will take to succeed in the program will help them self-select and increase the number of relevant candidates in your hiring funnel. Next, make information capture easy. You need to make it easy for candidates to apply for your program. Granted, a lot of information is needed to evaluate candidates for a graduate program, but a long, tedious form will only drive them out of the process. No process works if it is too difficult to follow. Make sure you have a system in place that allows candidates to easily provide the required information. Impress AI is one such system that uses conversational technology to collect a large amount of information from candidates without making it tedious. It also synchronizes it back to your ATS, which is super helpful. Third, assess accurately and progress fast. Assessments form an important part of a strong selection process. The most commonly used assessment types for graduate program are cognitive and personality tests. That's because generally candidates don't come with a lot of relevant experience and knowledge, so it is not much useful to assess for these. Cognitive assessments give a good sense of the ability to learn and process information. Personality assessments are useful if there are benchmarks for whether certain kinds of personality types do well in the graduate program. However, this is tricky to get right because hiring for certain kinds of work personality needs to be balanced with the need for diversity of viewpoints in any team. Make sure to explain to candidates why they need to do these assessments and how these work. Help them develop trust in these assessments so that they're convinced to spend their time on this step. Make sure the assessments are mobile friendly, otherwise completion rates will be suboptimal. Lastly, make sure none of the required assessments is too long and that candidates are progressed automatically if they meet the necessary criteria on scoring. Next, be prepared for the interview. Make sure you're well prepared for the first interview with the candidate. Given the scale of most graduate programs, it is impractical to be deeply aware of every candidate's experience. However, having their answers to the application questions and their work experience ready along with a standard set of probing questions is very useful. You should probably keep a scoring sheet handy. It is even better if the scoring sheet is on your CRM. Use behavioral interview techniques where you can ask about past experience with questions like, tell me more about a time when you had to work on tight deadlines. And then use the STAR framework to understand and validate in further detail. This is also an important juncture to evaluate alignment to company and team culture. For example, if the team works tight deadlines, make sure that there is a behavioral or situational judgment question meant to assess for that expected behavior. Next, run an effective assessment center. Assessment centers are great because they can help to evaluate some of the key skills in an efficient manner. Two of the most important features of an assessment center for a graduate program are case study and group discussions. Case studies are a useful way to simulate the actual job and understand the candidate's approach to problem solving. Group discussions give insight into the candidate's style of work with others. Group discussions are unlikely to give a holistic view of the candidate's working style because it is just one of the many types of group settings possible. However, it is a useful exercise to show red flags, if any, rather than predict the candidate's working style in all settings. Lastly, maximize conversion with pre-boarding. The work does not end even when the candidate has accepted the offer to join. They may be accepted to multiple graduate programs and may be forced to choose between them. Many companies now have a pre-boarding process. A good pre-boarding process keeps the selected candidates engaged with your company and reminds them why they were interested in the program in the first place. Have a scheduled release of information and articles to the candidate. That reaffirms their commitment to join. Regular check-ins with them will help know in advance if there are signs of attrition. If possible, arrange for the candidate to become familiar with the team that they will be joining. If there are virtual communities, encourage them to join those and ask questions. In summary, a well-designed graduate program will help you select the right candidates accurately and compete effectively for top talent. Impress AI helps dozens of companies run their graduate programs. Contact us if you're looking to implement the best practices in a graduate program while automating 80% of the shortlisting process. That's all for today. Hope that was helpful. See you again next